Alright, welcome back everybody. Mr. Olmedo here, and today we're going to be looking at creating a super simple collage inside of an app called PHOTOPEA. And the app is actually a web-based app, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, let's go ahead and go into photopea.com. It will load what looks like a Photoshop alternative, which is fantastic. First thing we're going to do is once we're loaded here, we're going to go up to File, New. Perfect. And over here, we're going to name this our favorite cartoon. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to jump in here and type in The Simpsons, or one of your favorite cartoons, doesn't really matter, or just any cartoon, right? Just make sure it's school appropriate, and we are good to go. All right, so this is our new project window. I'm going to jump over here to our templates. I'm going to click on Screen, and I'm going to click on Full HD, okay? These are just essentially different sizes for your projects. So if you know you're going straight to social media, and you're doing an Instagram story, you can do that straight from here, right? If you're doing a YouTube thumbnail, cover images, tons of options here. So I'm going to just jump into screen for now, and I'm going to click on Full HD, and you'll notice that it says 1920 by 1080. Fantastic. Background, we can leave white for now, and I'm going to click Create. So far, so good. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. I'm going to type in the name of my cartoon. So I'm going to type in the Simpsons logo. Okay. I'm going to click over to Images. I'm going to click on Tools. I'm going to set my color to transparent. Okay, because we want to get an image that has an alpha channel. This one looks pretty good. This one looks pretty good as well. Okay, perfect. So the way we get it into Photopea is super simple. You want to make sure you never want to click on the thumbnail here. Okay, you want to go ahead and click on the image so it pops up and renders fully on the right side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just click on this one. Looks good. I'm going to make sure it fully loads. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose copy image. Okay, and I'm using Google Chrome for now. Then I'm going to jump back over here. I can go up to edit and paste. Okay, or I can do, I'm on a Mac, so I can do Command V, or if you're on a PC or Windows or Chromebook, you can hit Control V as in Victor, okay, and that'll give you a copy of this, okay. Now, I'm using the Move tool currently, so all the different tools are here. Today we're going to be using the Move tool, and we're going to be using the Gradient tool, okay. So if you're here on the Move tool, go ahead and click on here. The keyboard shortcut for the Move tool is the letter V as in victory. Okay, so I can hit V to get my select tool, or I can hit G for my gradient tool. Okay, so my gradient tool will cycle through gradient and the paint bucket, which you might be familiar with. Okay, now I'm going to jump back into my Move tool. I'm going to make sure that auto select is turned on. I'm going to make sure that transform is turned on. Okay, don't mind this. I'm going to just trash that. Okay. And I only need one copy of this, so I'm going to grab that, and I'm just going to leave it here for the time being, okay? All right, cool. Now, let's go ahead and jump into one of the characters, okay? So I'm going to jump now into Homer Simpson, okay? Or Simpson, right? One of the all-time greats. And then I'm going to click on that first one. I can see that it pulls up with this checkered background, means that it's transparent. I'm going to see if I can grab a little bit higher quality one. This one looks a little, it's a little bit higher. You can also filter up here by size, but I'm gonna just, I'm gonna leave it at just default for now. But typically you want to grab some high resolution images. So again, I'm gonna right click, choose copy, jump over here, Command V. Super simple. You see that? Technically, you don't really want to scale up ever. You always want to just scale down. But in this case, it's not too bad. Okay. Now, if you ever want to scale an image up, okay, you want to make sure that your transform controls are on, so you can see that box around your layer that you've selected. Okay, you want to grab one of the corners, and you want to drag, and you want to hold down shift as you drag. If I let go of shift, you'll see that it starts squeezing my character and doing kind of weird things. Okay, so you want to keep that aspect ratio locked in. So you can do that by clicking the corner, dragging, and then holding down shift. Okay, and so that also, I'm going to just scale them up about there and put them there. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for my other characters. Okay, so I'm going to type in Marge Simpson. Okay, perfect. This one looks pretty good. Perfect. Right click. Actually, this has a little title here, so I'm just if I can find one without anything on there. This one looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to do right click and copy. I'm gonna click here, paste, right? And again, she's a little small, so I'll just technically you want to get higher quality images, but you know, this is not that big of a deal. Now, the one thing you want to take into consideration is scale, okay? So I want to make sure that I'm scaling the characters as best I can. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Marge looks pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Bart now. Paste. Okay, so now this is a good size image. You see that? So this is kind of what you want, but I'm gonna go ahead and just scale him down because he's far too big. Okay, so he looks about, he still looks a little big, so let me, about there is probably right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into Simpson. Okay, so I'm gonna click on that one. Nope. Click on that one. Nope. I'm gonna click on that one. Nope. Nope. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna click copy image. Boom. So now we got Maggie in here. Okay, and then all we need now is Lisa Simpson. So let's go ahead and grab a Lisa Simpson. Perfect. And this one looks solid. Right click, copy image. Over here, Command V. Boom. Okay, and then of course we can't forget the dog. I forget the dog's name. I forget the guy's Santa's Little Helper. There we go. Santa's Little Helper. All right, I'm gonna right click, copy image, and boom. Scale him up just a tad and put him all the way over here. Okay, so now I got all my Simpsons characters in here, right? Looks fantastic. All right, so now I have all my Simpsons characters in here. If you ever want to flip a character, you can. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention is if you're ever scaling, when you're scaling your characters, so let's say I was scaling this dog, Santa's Little Helper here, you always got to make sure that you have to confirm or cancel your transformation. Okay, so you can do that by confirming it with the check mark, canceling it with the X. You can double click on the image here. You can hit return, or you can hit cancel to cancel it out. I like to typically hit double click on the image, and then that confirms my transformation. Okay, all right. So this is all good. Next thing you want to do is you want to go over here to your layers, okay? And you can hide your layers. Okay, this is not deleting them. This is just simply hiding them. And you can, I want to just rename these, okay? So I'm going to jump in with Homer, okay? So I'm going to click on Homer over here. I'm going to click on where it says layer 4, and then I'm going to name it Homer, okay? I'm going to click on Marge, click on layer 5, type Marge, okay? And then go ahead and just do this for all your characters. All right, so this is Maggie. This is Lisa. This is Santa's Little Helper. Santa's Little Helper. All right, and then our background is that. That's all good. Okay, and then we have our the Simpsons title here. Okay, this just helps with moving stuff around and getting things organized and all that good stuff. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and go up to File and then hit Save as PSD. Go ahead and save this to your computer somewhere, okay, where you can find it. Make sure it's an Adobe Photoshop file. Name it properly up here and make sure you're able to find that file, okay, so we don't lose our progress. All right, next step, we're going to create our gradient. All right, so this is probably the trickiest part of everything, but should be fairly simple to get done. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on our background. We're going to unlock the background here. I'm going to click on my gradient tool, or if you remember, letter G for the keyboard, okay? I'm going to set this to radial because I want a radial gradient. You can experiment with these other types of gradients if you'd like. And I'm going to click on the color palette here, okay? So you want to make sure you're selecting colors that work well for your image, okay? So I know my image is, let me bring Santa's Little Helper back. So these, my characters are yellow here, so I'm gonna do something that's kind of like a bluish color, okay? But a gradient simply means that you're blending two colors together, okay? So we're gonna create this kind of spotlight looking background that looks kind of cool. So first thing we want to do is we have two boxes here. I'm gonna click on this left box on the bottom left, click here, and I'm gonna set this to about a 10% gray, okay? So whatever color you're at right here doesn't really matter. You want to drag this up to about 10% gray up there, okay? I'm gonna click OK. Here, okay, so now that color is set to 10% gray approximately, okay? My other color over here, I'm gonna set this to the color that I want the background to be. So I'm gonna do some kind of cool looking blue, okay? So I'm gonna go about there. That looks pretty good, and that looks good. Okay, so I'm going from a light color, about 10% gray, to blue, okay? Kind of a sky blue baby blue. Okay, so I'm gonna hit OK. And then the gradient, it's a simple tool. I'm selected on my background, I unlocked it, and now I just click and I drag. See how it gets 2 lines? Okay, so if you notice, it just creates this little spotlight. Okay, the longer you drag this line, the more of a spotlight you get. Okay, the larger and more feathered it is. Okay, I think it's gonna look cool if I create the spotlight right here where the character name is, or the logo itself. Okay, so it's kind of creating a spotlight there. Also, you can click and drag here as much times as you want, and you can see it just keeps updating the layer. Okay, so you can, if you mess up, just no worries, just go ahead and just do it again. Okay, so you can do it here in the middle if you'd like. Okay, play around with how far that spotlight is softened up, right? If you go very little, it's very harsh, right? I prefer a little bit longer, a little more of a blend between the colors. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just blend there, and done. That looks good, right? I can hide that layer, right? That's how cool that looks. I can hide any one of these layers, right? Clicking and dragging will hide a bunch of them at one time, or have everything fixed and set up like that. All right. Oh, by the way, before I leave, make sure you file save your final product. Okay, so you have that, and then cool. And then last thing we're gonna do is gonna go hit File, Export, and then PNG. Okay, or JPEG. Either one of those works. Okay. I like PNG. It's supposedly a little bit higher quality. I don't know. That's what they say. But JPEG, both of these will look pretty well. Okay, when you're done with this, you're good to go. And then go ahead and upload this to our discussion so everybody else can take a look at your what you created. All right, sounds good. Reach out if you have any questions.